Games worth watching for college football Saturday, week 1. This list isn't going to be the best games overall. It's going to be the most interesting to watch for a scheme point of view, especially focused on air raid teams, really interesting spread teams, and run and shoot teams. First up is Oklahoma at Tulane. What more can be said? Spencer Rattler is really amazing. The Sooners have reloaded again at all the key positions, especially wide receiver, their O-line, running back. They pretty much have it all. Spencer Rattler right now is the favorite for the Heisman, and going against the Green Wave, they should just roll right over them. It's always interesting to see what Lincoln Riley has cooked up on a week-to-week basis. Louisiana Tech at Mississippi State. Mike Leach, aka the Pirate, is one of the few air raid coaches who's still going 10 personnel full-time. It'll be interesting to see what he does with sophomore quarterback Will Rogers and how he's developed, and if this team can look better than how they looked last year. In 2020, almost every team seemed to play drop 8 versus them and dare them to run. Will be interesting to see what new tricks Leach brings out, or if this dog has no new tricks. Louisiana at Texas. In 2 seasons with the Crimson Tide, Steve Sarkisian had almost no bad drives, but he also was surrounded with some of the best talent in college football. Let's see how he does with a slight downgrade with the Texas Longhorns, who still are loaded. Hudson Card has looked really good in early reports from camp, but we're going to have to see how he does on the field. They got Bijan Robinson. Cade Brewer is going to be their kind of fullback tight end guy. Xavier Worthy is going to be the X receiver. He's a freshman, looks really good. He's already a starter. That's not common, especially at a big program like this. San Jose State at USC. The Trojans being directed by Graham Harrell, a lot more so than Clay Helton, their head coach. This should be an interesting year to see if Graham Harrell is going to ascend to be a head coach or an NFL offensive coordinator next year. Really depends on what happens this year, as well as Keaton Slovis, who could be a first-round quarterback in the next year's draft, or he might fade into obscurity. He really needs to step up this year. Texas Tech at Houston. We're going to have 2 teams here. Both of these teams are air raid. Texas Tech had kind of stepped away from the air raid for a couple years after the firing of Cliff Kingsbury, but the air raid is back. They have a lot of upperclassmen across pretty much every position on offense, and they should be ready to go for the year. Then we have the Houston Cougars, who look really good on paper, but we have to see. Clayton Tune is okay. We need to see a lot more from him. They have a ton of talent. The real question is going to be, does Dana Holgorsen still have it or not? He was really, really dynamic and adaptable at West Virginia, but so far at Houston, he's been very underwhelming. They paid him a lot of money to be a top-notch Power 5 coach, and he's so far under-delivered. Next, we have Georgia at Clemson, which is one of the marquee Week 1 games. The reason I have it listed here is I'm really curious to see the defensive battle here, because you have 2 of the best defensive minds in the sport kind of going up head-to-head. And there's a lot on the line because this game, even if it's week 1, is still probably going to have implications on the playoff situation in a few months. I'm really excited to see Kirby Smart, especially, and what he is going to be bringing for Georgia. The next offense we're going to talk about, though, is Nevada, whose OC, Matt Mumme, has been developing Carson Strong really well. Carson seems like he's a guy that's probably going to be in the NFL next year. It's just a question of exactly where he'll be taken in the draft. He has been really, really good and improving every year, and he looks poised to make a really strong push this year before heading to the draft. He's got tons of talent around him, especially for Nevada standards. So, expectations are high, and they're playing California. And then finally, Washington State, my run and shoot team. So for all of the run and shoot guys out there, you need to make sure you're watching this game. We have Max Borghi in the backfield, who is probably the most dynamic and shiftiest superback we've had since Barry Sanders. So he's exciting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We also have a freshman out wide, Deshaun Sterling. We have Donovan Ollie, Travell Harris, Calvin Jackson Jr. There's a lot of seniors, redshirt seniors, a lot of graduate transfers. This team is going to be really, really stacked. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button. Comment down below to let me know what content you'd like to see me cover more of. I'm working on a wide zone mini scheme, a double wing mini scheme, more content about the air raid, the run and shoot. You just tell me, where do you want me to focus? Also, check me out. I play almost every night on Twitch. Link there on the screen. Also, support me at Patreon. Both links are down in the description. Thanks, and have a great day.